how are you today? I'm feeling good, thank you, and I hope you are feeling well too. Okay students, before we start our class today, let's pray first. Does anyone want to lead us in prayer? Okay Jimmy, please lead us in prayer. Thank you Jimmy. Okay students, do you know what day is celebrated today? Great, it's Kartini Day. But do you know who is she and why we celebrate it today? Not yet? Okay, don't worry, because I like to tell you about the history of Kartini. So now, please listen to me. Students, Kartini Day is a day set by the government to commemorate the services of Raden Ajeng Kartini. Raden Ajeng Kartini Jojo Adiningrat, also known as R.A. Kartini, was born to a noble family in Jepara, Central Java on 21st April 1879. That is why the title Raden Ajeng alias R.A. was given to her. Her father, Raden Adipati Aryo Sosroningrat, was a Japanese aristocrat working for the Dutch colonial government. Her mother, Mangasira, a simple girl who was born as a commoner. She is the daughter of a Kiai in Teluk Awun. Her status as not coming from a noble family violated Dutch colonial rules. The rules implemented by the Netherlands required that a regent must choose a noble family as his partner when marrying. This certainly makes it difficult for Aryo to take the reins of leadership as regent of Jepara with his first wife. In order to continue to comply with colonial regulations, Kartini's father also married Raden Ajeng Urian, who still had the blue blood of the Madurais kingdom. Finally, Kartini's father was able to take his place to become regent after complying with Dutch regulation. Kartini is the fifth child of 11 children. Unlike most native children at that time, Kartini had the opportunity to receive education at school at ELS, European Language School, when she was 12 years old. This was a school intended for rich Dutch and Japanese people. Studying at this school meant she learned Dutch. Kartini's intelligence was increasingly honed in the world of school. Unfortunately, her desire to go to school didn't last long. At the age of 15, Kartini had to stop going to school. Kartini had to stay at home because she had been secluded like other women at that time. Kartini didn't have a choice. This, of course, made her depressed. Luckily, she had a friend in the Netherlands named Rosa Abendanon, with whom she could exchange ideas during her seclusion. The exchange of ideas was carried out through correspondence. Her fluency in Dutch makes communication between two friends from different countries easier. As an intelligent woman, Kartini also studied the mindset of European women. Newspapers, magazines, and even books were completely finished. From what she read, Kartini knew that the lives of European women and Indonesian women were very different at the time. In Indonesia, women have a low status. Indonesian women have never received equality, freedom, and autonomy, as well as legal equality. This condition made Kartini sad. Desire to avenge the fate of women grew in her heart. Kartini felt inspired and determined to change the fate of her people. Her determination became stronger and stronger. After being exiled from the age of 15, Kartini finally married at the age of 24. In 1903, Kartini married KRM Adipati Aryo Singgi Jojo Adiningrat, who was the regent of Rembang at that time. Because he was married, Kartini's title Raden Ajeng changed to Raden Ayu. Even though she is now a wife, Kartini still wants to continue her dream of fighting for women's equality and becoming a teacher. It turned out that Kartini's husband could understand Kartini's way of thinking. Kartini's husband supports and gives freedom to her dreams. One form of support is by establishing a women's school east of the Rembang office gate. Kartini's desire became increasingly firmly etched in her heart. She could no longer contain her desire to liberate women. A year after marriage, Kartini was blessed with a son named Susalit Jojo Adiningrat, who was born on September 13, 1904. Unfortunately, fate said otherwise. Kartini could not fight any longer to raise the dignity of woman because Kartini died at the age of 25. 4 days after giving birth to her only son, Kartini breathed her last breath. Kartini's death was quite surprisingly because during her pregnancy and birth, Kartini appeared to be in good health. No one thought that Kartini would die at a young age. Many of her dreams have not yet been achieved, of course. She was buried in Bulu village, Rembang Regency. Thanks to Kartini's persistence in 1912, the Kartini School was founded by the Kartini Foundation. This school was founded by the Van Deventer family, one of the ethical political figures of the time. Initially, the Kartini School was only established in Semarang, but later it was also established in Surabaya, Yogyakarta, Madiun, Malang, and other areas. Unexpectedly, Kartini's letter to her friends in the Netherlands were collected by Jacques Heinrich or G.H. Abendanon, is the husband of one of Kartini's friends, Rosa Abendanon. They were the ones Kartini usually sent letters to. It was to them that Kartini usually conveyed her writings. About 115 letters were collected. These letters are Kartini's outpouring of her heart to her friends, including 1. Estelle H. Z. Handelaar or Stella is 14 letters. 2. Mrs. Oving Soer is 8 letters. 3. Professor Dr. G. K. Anton Injena and his wife is 3 letters. 4. Dr. N. Andriani is 4 letters. 5. Mrs. H. G. De Boissevain is 5 letters. 6. Senior H. H. Van Gogh is 3 letters. 7. Mrs. N. Van Gogh is 3 letters. 8. Mrs. R. M. Abendanon Mandri is 49 letters. 9. Mr. G.H. Abendanon is 5 letters. 10. E.C. Abendanon is 6 letters. 11. Abendanon husband and wife is letter combination. 12. One letter cannot be concluded about the recipient. Kartini's thoughts were able to attract a lot of attention from society at that time, especially the Dutch. They were interested in letters addressed to Europeans, which turned out to be the brainchild of native women. Kartini's thoughts were able to replace Dutch society's views on native women at that time. They also took their hats off to Kartini's thoughts. Kartini is admired not only within the country but throughout the country. The letters that have been collected by G.H. It was Abendanon who later became the origin book printing with the initial title Door Louis Ternis Top Leech. Then the title is translated as From Darkness to Light. The publication of this book began to change the way that society thought about native women, especially Japanese. May 2nd, 1964, 1924, Sukarno issued Presidential Decree number 108, which contained the provision that Kartini was a national independence hero. Sukarno also designated April 21st as Kartini Day, which we commemorate every year until now. Kartini's thoughts also inspired the creation of the song Ibu Kita Kartini by W.R. Supratman, which is certainly familiar to our ears, especially students. Students, that's the history of Kartini Day. To commemorate R.A. Kartini, let's sing together the song Ibu Kita Kartini. 1, 2, 3. Ibu kita Kartini, putri sejati, putri Indonesia, harum namanya. Ibu kita Kartini, pendekar bangsa, pendekar kaumnya untuk merdeka. Wahai ibu kita Kartini, putri yang mulia, sungguh besar cita-citanya bagi Indonesia. Okay students, now we know the history of Kartini's Day. And I think that's all of our class today. Thanks for listening to me. Keep motivated. See you next week students. Bye bye.